All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video, which is how to structure your social media marketing agency presentations or your SMMA presentation. So guys, the point of this video is I see so many people struggling with, okay, I've actually booked an appointment. I've gotten a business owner on the phone, or I've somehow, however way you're booking appointments, I have an appointment or I have a meeting, but I'm getting to these meetings and I'm just not closing the deal, and it's just going horribly. This is one of the most common, issues that I've seen and come across and had people come to me with, at least among digital marketers. So I really wanted to sort of answer the major questions regarding how to properly structure your presentation and your meetings in today's video. So let's jump right into it. So guys, before I get into the nitty-gritty, let me explain something. You cannot go into a meeting without a structure, right? You can't just go in and wing it and expect that you're just gonna somehow make it work and you're just gonna close the deal somehow, some way, right? You have to have structure. You need a set path that you take in your meetings and your sales calls or your appointments, whatever that may be. So guys, again, you can't just wing it. This is such a common sort of issue, is people just kind of go into the meeting and think that they can just tell the business owner that they do social media marketing and that's it, and pay me $1,500 or pay me $2,000. No, guys, that's not how it works. Now, on the flip side of that, while you do want to have structure to your meetings, you don't want to go into them with a set sort of idea or plan, if that makes sense. So you want structure, but you want that structure to be fluid and almost kind of like Bruce Lee says, be water, just kind of go with the flow. So you have a general idea of how you want to take the conversation and where you want it to go, but you don't want to be too stuck in one path that kind of gives you, tunnel vision and you can't see everything else going on around you. So with that said, let's get into, again, just a few other things to keep in mind. Guys, when you go into these meetings or these presentations, or if it's a sales call, whatever the case may be, go in it with the intentions not to sell something. I repeat, are you selling something? Obviously. But go into these meetings not with the intentions of directly trying to sell something. Go into these meetings with the intention of trying to diagnose the situation, meaning, essentially it's going to be everything that we get into in this video, but you're really trying to figure out what's going on in this business. Can you even help them? Are they even a good fit for your services? Guys, you want to go in with an open mind, right? This goes back to what I just talked about, meaning, don't go in with, okay, I'm going to do this, and that. Guys, I literally cannot tell you how many times I have had people come to me and say, hey man, I have a meeting tomorrow or I have an appointment tomorrow and I think that I want to go in and I think I want to pitch Facebook ads, email marketing, and some funnel build outs. I'm like, oh my goodness, stop. Just completely erase that stuff from your thought process. Never stop going into meetings with the intention of trying to sell XYZ or do XYZ. You have to know your products and what it is that you're selling, but you can only sell certain things based off of what you find out from the business owner. That's why, again, we don't sell, we diagnose the situation, going in with an open mind, guys. Again, don't have any expectations, right? This all kind of ties in together. Don't go into meetings thinking, this company is big, I know they have the budget, I know that if I tell them this, and that, and if I sell them this particular service, it's all going to work out, and I know I'm going to close the deal. Guys, don't go in with any expectations. Go in with a completely open mind, not expecting anything. And lastly, guys, just have a conversation, right? Just have a conversation with whoever it is you're talking to, or if it's multiple people, which obviously changes the dynamic a bit of the meeting. But if it's just if you're talking with the business owner or the decision maker, guys, just have a conversation. Just talk. Just figure things out. See if something can be something can happen here, right? So the first big step in structuring your meetings and your presentations, guys, is you have to build rapport. I can't emphasize this enough, guys. This is arguably the most important part of the entire sales process. Building up rapport. Guys, whoever you're talking to, you have to show them you're just a normal person. You're not some weird, sleazy, just weird sales guy or salesperson trying to come up and take their money, because if once they classify you as that in their head, it's game over, guys. There's no coming back from that. So you really need to establish and build your rapport, and you can do that in a couple different ways. Number one, where I always tell people to start, is just the way you talk. Slow down the way you talk, right? Have some confidence. Know what you're talking about. Don't go in there talking super fast like this and da 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 da, because you're just going to lose the person, guys. You're going to lose them. They're not going to trust you, which takes me into the next, well, actually not the next part, but guys, they have to like and trust you, right? They will never, ever buy from you if they don't like you and if they don't trust you. I promise you that, guys. And also, guys, don't skip the small talk, right? I see this, happen so many times when digital marketers go into meetings, is they just want to jump right into it. They just want to get into, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, I can do this, and that. This is how much it costs. This is how it works, blah, 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 blah. And the business owner is just like, what the fuck just happened, right? So, guys, don't skip the small talk. How I like to start my conversations is super, super lighthearted, super, super easygoing. Like, just how's it going? How's your week been going, right? Again, you're having a normal conversation. Where you're from, where you're based out of. You'll probably know this ahead of time before going into the meeting. But anyways, you could just say, hey, so you're based out here, right? Oh, how's the weather there? Or how's it, whatever. Just guys, just talk shit, just small talk, right? Just again, this all ties back into having a normal conversation so that they don't see you as a weird, sleazy, too pushy salesperson, right? Because guys, the reality is, if they don't like you and they don't trust you, there's no sale. No like and no trust equals no sale, right? These are the first major ingredients to actually closing the deal. You have to build rapport. They have to like you. They have to trust you. And guys, lastly, just be genuine, right? Just go in there and just genuinely be interested in helping them grow their business. Genuinely be interested in what is going on in their business and what they have going on and what and what they're doing. Just be genuine, guys. Don't come off as, here's the thing, if they see you and they hear you talk and they think, you know what, I think this person just wants my money, it's over, guys. You lose. You have lost the game. You lose the deal. It's never going to happen with that particular business owner. And if you keep it up, it won't happen at all. Now, it's not to scare you, because you can easily start changing your sales process. And hopefully this video will kind of get you on the path to start doing just that. So, guys, really, just be genuine. That's it. Just go in there and just be super genuine and actually want to help them grow their business. Step 2. This is super, super important. Guys, all these steps are so important. I really can't say one is more important than the other. You have to have all of these to have a successful presentation and a successful meeting and actually close the deal. So number 2, again, is taking control. Guys, you have to take control of the conversation. You can't be the other way around. You can't have the business owner control you and control the conversation. Now, let me explain exactly what that means. So, first, what I like to do, and this is literally, I would say 95% of the calls I get on, if not 100% of the calls and meetings that I attend and go to, I always ask this question before we get into anything. Typically, it's after the small talk, but it's before the nitty-gritty of the meeting. I say, name, why did you decide to get on this call today? I'm just curious. Or why did you decide to set up this meeting with me today? Now, what this does is it puts the pressure almost back onto them, right? Because the problem is, most business owners, when you're going on into these meetings or on these calls, they kind of feel as if you're below them and like they're sitting back and you should kind of have to prove yourself to them. But guys, when you flip it around and say, why did you decide to get on this call with me today, or why did you decide to have me come in today? Why are we in this meeting together? It puts it back on them and it forces them to explain why they chose you. Right, guys? Can you see how powerful that is? It makes them not only think it, they have to say it out loud, because they're going to answer you with something like, well, we're looking to do X, Y, Z, and you told me that you can do this, so, I think maybe you can help us. And when they say it out loud to themselves, they actually start to think it too. Like, you know what? Yeah, shit. I got on this meeting today because I think this person can help me do X, Y, Z. Guys, it's so powerful when you ask this question. So, it's right after the small talk. but it's before you start getting into, so here's what I do, or before you start asking questions. Why did you decide to get on this call with me, or why did you decide to come to this meeting and have me come to this meeting today, right? Because you could have been anywhere else. You could have been on another call. You could have been at at another meeting with somebody else. So why did they decide to have you come in today or talk today? Guys, I'm going to move my thing here. You have to move the conversation where you want it to go, right? You can't let them control the conversation, right? And the way you can do that is by setting expectations for the meeting or the phone call. Now, let me give you an example of how I would set expectations for the call and how I typically do it for myself. In the very beginning of the call, again, it's typically after the small talk, right? The small talk is just to kind of just sort of get acquainted a little bit. Just, again, build rapport before you get into anything nitty-gritty. When I set the expectations for the call or the meeting, guys, I would say, so name, whatever their name is. Typically how I like to structure these calls, or typically how I like to structure these meetings, is I like to get a really, really solid idea of where you're at in your business, what your goals are, where you want to take the business, what you see happening, what you want to happen, etc., etc. And then from there, I can tell you a little bit about what it is that I do, and then we can see if we would be a good fit to work together. And I have to see if I can even help you, right? So guys, as you can see, what that does is it puts you in a position of such authority and such power and such control over the conversation, because you are setting the expectations for the call. You are saying, here's what's going to happen, here's how we're going to do things, and here's why. Guys, can you see how powerful that is? It's so powerful. Like, I can't even explain. It's super psychological, and this is how you really master the sales process. Because, guys, really the reason why you need to do this is because you might not be a good fit to work together. As crazy as it sounds, you may be thinking, well, shit, I am an awesome Facebook advertiser, I am an awesome digital marketer, and I can run pay-per-click ads well, I can do XYZ like a freaking genius, so I can help any business. It's not true, guys. Not every business is a good fit for you to work with them. It's just not. And it could be for a variety of reasons. It could be, the people, they may just suck as people. They may just be super difficult to work with. They may not have the right logistical processes in place in their business to handle more customers and handle more revenue or leads or whatever it is. Guys, it could be a variety of things. So that's why you need to set the expectations for the call, figure out what's going on here. Again, as I've said in my other videos, be the doctor, right? Diagnose the problem, see if you can offer a solution to that problem. AKA, see if you'd be a good fit to work together, because you may not be. So, guys, I know I threw a lot at you here, but really take this in, because this is so powerful and so important. Number 3, step 3, after you have, sorry, I'm going to move myself once again. After you've built rapport, after you have taken control of the conversation, now what you have to get into is the deep dive discovery. This is where you really start to get into the nitty-gritty, right? Because what you've done now is you've built rapport, so they're starting to like you, they're starting to trust you, right? One thing I do want to add in, guys, is wherever you can throughout the conversation, laugh, crack a joke, somehow smile, make the conversation lighter than it really is. Now, guys, you're probably thinking, what the fuck is that about? Why do I want to make jokes? I'm not here to put on a fucking comedy show, right? I'm not a comedian. Let me tell you guys, when you can make somebody laugh, and when you guys can joke and laugh together, the amount of rapport you build with them, and the amount of trust and the amount that they like you goes through the roof automatically. Guys, I'm not a psychologist. I am not a brain expert. I don't know exactly why that is, but I can tell you that it works. So just as a side note, keep in mind, when you're building rapport and throughout this entire conversation, just try to laugh. Guys, if there's an opportunity to just make it, even if it's a stupid joke, doesn't matter, right? Just try and laugh. Try to make it lighter than it really is. So you've built rapport, you've taken control of the conversation, and you've set the expectations for the call, which is finding out about their business to see if you're a good fit to work together. And the way you can do that is by the first aspect of the deep dive discovery is, what you want to do is you want to focus on the positives, guys. What's going well in their business? So you can ask them, what's been working? What have you been implementing, or what have you been doing within your business that's actually generated these really solid results or really solid revenue? Tell me about the good, right? I just want to hear what's going well, because what this does is, guys, is it gives you the opportunity to say, like, for example, if let's say they tell you, well, we recently hired, and guys, I get this a lot. This is the reason why I brought it up. We recently hired an SEO guy or an SEO team, and we've seen a pretty decent uptick in business from people finding us on Google. Guys, that is so awesome, because it gives you the opportunity to say, wow, that's really, really smart on your part to hire an SEO team, because SEO is ridiculously important. And if you want to really take your business to the next level, you have to be in the search engines, especially as a local business. So what you're doing is you're essentially saying, good job. You made a really, really good decision, and I'm glad that you did that, right? So that's essentially what you're saying. So it's all positive things, guys. You see where it's going here? It's all positive. It's all bringing them up, and just sort of continuously complimenting them. So again, just focus on the positives. Next, what you want to do is you want to find out, what are they doing? Are they doing any marketing at all? They may be doing zero marketing, right? You have to find that out. What are they doing in terms of marketing, if they're doing anything, right? What's been working really well? What's been not working within the marketing that they're doing? Have they implemented any new processes? Have they hired new salespeople? If it's a lead-based business, have they, done, what are they doing, right? What's going on here again? So you really want to find out the processes within the business, guys. This is something a lot of people don't touch on, and it's probably because it's so freaking important. And this is such a valuable sort of piece of knowledge to have when you're going into meetings, is you want to find out how their business works logistically, right? And what I mean by that is, let's say you were to suddenly, over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, be able to get them a huge influx of leads, right? If it's, let's say, I'm thinking off the top of my head, if it's, let's say, a salon or something like that, right? And you're getting a bunch of new people wanting to book appointments. Do they have the infrastructure to actually handle those calls? Or if it's, let's say, if it's a gym, for example, even better example. Let's say they have a lot of people calling in wanting to set up an appointment for a free trial or something like that. Do they have the infrastructure, the ability to actually take those calls, right? And what I would say is, the actual wording of the question is, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, do you have the ability, or do you have the infrastructure in place, or can you handle a large influx of new business? And here's the thing, guys, they're going to probably think, they're going to look at you like, what? Because it is a bit of an odd question, because how it comes off as is like, are you good enough, almost? It's like saying, like, are you good enough? Like, do you think you could do it? That's almost like what that question is saying, but it's really not. And what I like to do is I'll follow up with that question with, I'll say, so can you handle this, a decent influx of business? And I would say right immediately after, I'd say, and the reason why I ask is because you'd be pretty surprised that I've spoken to a ton of business owners who actually tell me that if I was to bring them a bunch of new leads or a bunch of new customers, they just don't have the infrastructure in place to handle that. So is that kind of where you guys are at, or can you handle new business? But boom, right there. That's a solid way of wording it, and that's literally exactly what I do on my consultation calls or meetings. So guys, you really want to do that. Literally take exactly how I just worded that and just use it. So I'm going to move myself once again. I keep getting in the way. You also want to find out, sorry, one sec. Got to take my water. You want to find out what part of the business do they want to grow, right? And this is so important because I'll give you guys an example. I was on a consultation call with a credit repair company, right, a few weeks back, and they have two sections of their business. They have the B2C side, which is the business to customer or business to consumer, and they have the business to business side, which is also known as B2B. And so they really have two sections or two parts of their business. So what I asked them was, which part do you want to focus on? Because if I hadn't asked that, I would have been totally off with my numbers, and I would have been totally off with my plan and strategy that I presented to them to help them accomplish their goals of growing the one side of the business, which was the B2C or the business to consumer side of things. So what you want to find out is, what part of their business do they want to grow? Here's another example. If it's insurance, let's say they do auto insurance, home insurance, and life insurance. So, Mr. Agent or Mrs. Agent, which insurance or which type of insurance do you want to focus on, and do you want to grow? See how that works? You find out what part of the business they actually want to grow. And that's going to give you stuff to go off of when you're presenting your actual strategy, right? And guys, throughout this entire conversation and this entire process, just continue to build rapport and maintain your authority like we went over in part 2, which is taking control of the conversation. Just continue to be in control, right? Number 4, this is the next step or the next part of the meeting process or the presentation process, the actual presentation. You got to present something, right? So here is what guys, this is a magic line. And again, I can't tell you the exact to the T psychology of why this works so well. Just know that it does. What I would say is, and again, guys, this is in the part of the process where right after I've just done the deep dive discovery, after I've found out all of the information I need to know and I need to find out in order to come up with a comprehensive, accurate strategy for them, now that I have all that information, this is exactly what I say. I go, hey, name, or hey, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, now that I have a much better understanding of your business and where you want to take it, I'd like to show you my process and how we can help you accomplish that goal. Would that be okay with you? That's so powerful, guys. It's so powerful because it's almost like saying, I have something to show you, and I don't know if you want to see it, but I just want to make sure that you're okay with me showing it to you, right? Excuse me, sorry guys, I'm choking over here. It almost adds a bit of mystery to it, a bit of mystique. It's just very powerful, very, very powerful. And guys, they're not going to say no. They're not going to say, nah, we don't really want to see it. If they do, then they are not the client you want to work with. Yeah, just keep that in mind. Most times, more likely than not, they're going to say, yes, sure, let's see it. What do you got? Something along those lines. Or I'd love to see it. Now, guys, when you actually give them the presentation and when, whatever it is that you show them, you want to walk them through the process, meaning walk them through how you set up a campaign, how you run ads, how you set up different audiences, how you set up retargeting, how you set up retargeting audiences, all that cool stuff that you do, show it to them, walk them through that process. And now you guys are probably thinking, well, wait a second, if I show them everything, aren't they just going to steal it and then just go off, do it on their own and say, I don't need you, goodbye? No, because number one, when you show them enough, they're not going to remember it. I promise you, they will 100% not remember everything that you showed them. They may remember 1 or 2 things, but they're not going to remember every part of the process that they need to actually run successful campaigns, which is why they are going to pay you and going to hire you to do that, because they can't do it on their own. So, guys, walk them through the process. Don't be afraid to actually show them like everything. Show them how everything works. Build value, guys. Build value in what it is that you're selling. Just show them how powerful this is, and also at the same time give value. And the way you give value is by saying, here, if you guys want to do this, here's how you install your tracking pixel, or here's how you do X, Y, Z. So you're almost teaching them instead. Instead of trying to sell, again, which is the goal here. We're not trying to push something on them that they don't want. Guys, what you really want to focus on in the presentation is you want to emphasize on revenue and ROI. Now what that means is you want to not only walk them through the process and show them how it works, you want to show them how that process is going to generate them revenue and how they are going to generate a positive ROI on what they're going to be spending with you. Right? I don't know why I'm waving this pen around like a fucking nut, but I am, because I'm really engaged and I'm switching hands at the same time. So guys, this is going to be my pointer now. You're going to emphasize on revenue and ROI, right? You want to explain to them, tongue twister, I can't even speak, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, or address them by their name. This is what we're going to do. This is how it works, and this is how it's going to help you accomplish that goal that you told me you wanted to accomplish just a few minutes ago. See why we did the deep dive discovery? Because you're bringing it back up into the conversation. You're almost looping back around and explaining to them how you're going to get to what they told you they want to get to. Right? So again, teach, 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 guys. Teach. Show them things. Do not try and sell and push things onto them. Right? It's just they're gonna like it so much more when you're teaching them things. Right? Because what that's gonna do is it's gonna make them realize, holy shit, we cannot do this on our own. This is fucking hard. This is difficult. Like, this is complicated. We need to hire this guy, or need to hire this person. If you have testimonials or case studies, show them 100% of the time. That's going to make your presentations and your meetings convert so much higher is when you actually have something to show them. If you don't, it's totally cool. You can just walk them through the process and how it works and how you can help them accomplish their goals. Now, guys, this is so important. The very last part of the presentation. Consistently confirm their understanding. Now, what does that mean? Every time you show them something, like every time you show them one little thing, say, does that make sense? Okay, awesome. Let's keep going. So this is how you do X, Y, Z. You put this here, you do this there, you do this, right? You do that. Does that make sense? Am I talking too fast? Guys, what that does is it eliminates any objections when you actually go to the close. Because if you don't do this, then what's going to happen is when you get to the close and the end of the meeting, they're going to say, you know, I'm still confused about this, or I still don't understand how this works, or could you explain this one more time? Because, guys, more often than not, objections are just confusions. They're not completely sure about how something works. That's why every time you show them something, when you're walking them through the process, you have to say to them and ask them, does that make sense? Do you understand that? Okay, am I talking too fast? Please, if I am, just tell me and I will backtrack and walk through it once again. That's how you got to do it, guys. Number 5, the fun part, right? Close the deal. Now we're going to get into how to actually make the sale, close the deal, and get this thing going, right? Actually making it happen. So, in order to effectively be able to close the deal, guys, you have to make sure that you've done the prior work necessary. Now, what's the prior work that you have to do? It's building the rapport. It's taking control of the conversation. It's asking the right questions, finding out more about their business, understanding what exactly is going on here, what they want to do, where they want to take the business, what their goals are, what they see happening within the business, the processes, everything, guys. Then you have to do the presentation. You have to present them with your solution, right? So this is all the things that you have to do before you actually get to the close, right? Now, guys, if you've done this, right, if you have done everything correctly, you've built the rapport, you've taken control of the conversation, and you've kept it moving in the direction that you want it to move in, you have done the deep dive discovery correctly, you've asked them the right questions, you've presented them with a solution that makes sense to them. Now you ask, number 1, are you confident that I can help you accomplish X after what I've shown you? So if their goal is to generate 20 new clients within the next 3 months, right? Let's say it's super high ticket. Are you confident that I can help you generate 20 new clients or 20 new customers within the next 90 days based off of what I've just shown you, right? And if they say yes, now you're just one step away from the close. And what you say to them is, awesome, are you ready to move forward? Or are you ready to get started? Guys, this is powerful freaking stuff right here. You've done the work, you've done the prior work necessary in order to get up to this point, right? Now that you've shown them everything, it's all a matter of asking them, do you believe I can help you accomplish your goal with what I've shown you? If they say yes, perfect, awesome. Are you ready to move forward? Yes, let's do it. And there you go, you've closed the deal, guys. Now, I know that what I've shown you, it may make it seem like it's a long, tedious process, but here's the thing, guys, with almost anything, once you have this process down pat and really down to a science, it's going to become second nature. And the way that you really get this process down to the science that you need to get it to is you have to start getting on appointments, guys. You have to start booking appointments, getting on calls, going to meetings. You have to start having these meaningful conversations with business owners, because what's going to happen is the first few meetings or the first few sales calls that you have, you're going to absolutely bomb, right? And that's normal. That's how it happens. That's how it goes, right? But what's going to start to happen is eventually over time, you are going to start to get a lot better and you're going to start closing more deals, guys. So now, with everything that I've just given you, which I know is a lot, but I want you to use this video as a reference point, right? I want you to always be able to come back to this and say, my sales process is kind of lacking. My consultation or meeting process is a little iffy, a little off. Let me come back to this video. Let me watch this part again, or whatever the case may be. I want this to kind of be your reference point. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. When it comes to closing the deal, as you can see, it's a process. There's a sales process that you have to go through. It's never as simple, and it's never going to be as simple as just telling them what you do, telling them how much it costs, and expecting them to just all of a sudden say, sounds good, let's do it. No, guys, it doesn't work like that. So with what I've given you today, guys, it's time to start getting clients. Now, I do want to tell you guys one more thing. If I haven't mentioned it already, I don't think I've mentioned it in my other videos. I have actually created what's called the ultimate closing script. Essentially, it's literally the exact script and process that I use to close my deals, and when I actually get on consultation calls, it's essentially this video but on steroids, and it takes it to the next level. So what I've done, guys, is I have created the script that has, again, it's literally made me thousands upon thousands of dollars, and I have put it at a price point of $17. That's all I need to say. Guys, you can get my exact sales process, my exact script, the exact things that I say on these meetings and these calls for $17. Now, I'm not trying to sell you here. That's not the point of this video. I'm not trying to push this script on you. All I'm letting you guys know is if you do want it, and you do want to get everything that I do during a meeting for 17 bucks, you can grab it right below this video in the description. It's called the Ultimate Closing Script. Just hit the link and you can pick it up. Now, here's the thing, guys. It's not going to stay at this price because it's so valuable, and I am going to be increasing the price very, very soon, either to 47 or 97 bucks. So, guys, I strongly suggest that you jump on this right now, pick up the script so that you can have a completely bulletproof sales process, and you don't have to keep wondering or guessing and being unsure if you're actually doing these meetings and consultation calls correctly. And the faster you can get that process down packed, the faster you can start making money and closing deals and actually getting to your goals, whether that be 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever the case may be for you personally. So that's it for today's video, guys. Go pick up the script. It's a no-brainer, and I will see you in the next video. I'm out.
Everything around